My journey in the arts presented by Oscar Scott. My journey into dance was the scariest part of the arts, as I am a very anxious person when it comes to dancing in front of others. However, as you can see from these warm up dances, we are always in groups, which greatly reduced my anxiety and increased my participation. This aligns with Standard 4.1, which focuses on student engagement and positive interaction. And because of the group projects, dancing became my favorite part of my journey into the arts. Moving on to the main dances, we had two of them. I'm only showing one of them. However, I believe that this one was more powerful and it taught us more because this is a dance based off traditional Bollywood dancing, which is really important. I found it really important as a teacher because it expands my horizons to other cultures and allows me to understand other cultures better. And this is a main teaching from Vygotsky's socio-cultural theory, as the experiences and events from different cultures can affect our development and expand our horizons, which is really important for both students and teachers. This dance also taught me valuable teaching methods because we used a method called chunking, which according to Deng Shengyi's 2022, chunking is basically a way to free up your working memory because basically what we did with this dance, we learned one part, then another part, then another part, and another part, and then we just kind of combined them all together slowly. And in our brain, when we were trying to remember it in the moment, we worked it, we remembered it in chunks, in that first chunk, second chunk, third chunk, and fourth chunk, which made it a lot easier to remember all the steps because there were a lot of steps to this, and it's going to be really useful later in life. Additionally, with Standard 4.3, I feel like this maintains student behaviour really well because they're super focused on making sure they get their own thing right, and because everyone else is also doing it, that people won't try and act out to try and get out of it. And I felt like this was really good for managing student behaviour. The next arts on my journey was music, and I decided to learn the song The Scientist by Coldplay. And at the start, I'm just listening to the song, trying to get a feel for the tempo and everything like this. And this is just a sneak peek into the start of my first time trying to play it just straight away. As you can see here, I found a lot easier if I learnt the song using YouTube at the beginning, and I also found it way too difficult to. I probably spent 2-3 hours just trying to learn both hands together. I found it way too difficult, so after this I shifted to just learning my right hand, which exponentially grew my progress and understanding of the tempo and everything because I didn't have to focus on both. With more practice, with 10-15 hours just on this, I could probably learn both. This is where I made and wrote my own notes down of the simplified version that I'd made just with my right hand. I tried looking online, couldn't find it, but this is a good example of teaching standard 3.4 where you select and use the resources that are best suited to everyone. That's why I focused on writing them down as well. Even though using YouTube made it incredibly easy, learning to write notes and understand notes is really important because it's the basics and the basic of the foundation of music. And this is my final go. As this is the foundation when you're learning the notes and stuff, it links to standard 2.1, which is knowing the content and how to teach it pretty much. Understanding the basics will help me in the future. Additionally, you can see I've kind of learnt through my progression opting just the right hand and using the notes that I made. And now we're going to be going on to the final one, which is art. To start my arts journey, I decided to work on using a YouTube video to understand shading and everything like that. And then here I'm just in my sketchbook, just kind of going free flow with ideas, trying to get my creativity going. And I was just kind of like doodling little sketches and implementing some basic shading techniques that I already knew. In this clip, I'm learning from more advanced shading tutorials, and I'm shading, as you'll see soon, it's a light bulb to like focus on like where the sunlight's coming from one spot, and this is going to help me in like my final drawing. This probably took me up until the end of this point about 2 hours, 2.5 hours. This is the finished product of this drawing, and I feel like I did pretty well here, showing where the light hits it. This is my final drawing and like learning from the arts, and it's a drawing of an axolotl. I'm using YouTube to help me draw the axolotl and my shading techniques and stuff that I've learned from the warm-up until this exercise. This follows along to standard 3.2s, like the plan, sequence, and structure of it really helped because I started small and kind of worked my way up until the big one. So I'm like chunking all of my information, which really helped my art skills to develop, and I'll hopefully be able to use these in the future. And by doing a creature I wasn't very familiar with, it established a really good learning goal. The learning goal was obviously to draw the axolotl, and here is the finished product of that. Very happy with it came out, but also it really made me focus on everything that I'd learned and like each little mini goal all coming together to create this one goal. Thank you for watching and listening to my journey.